always fun to watch. This one was a little bit more fun to watch for the Alliance fans because they took game number 1 of this best-of-3 elimination series. Kyle, Lizard, Grant. Let's break that game down. I want to start with first pick.
Yes.
Io.
Yeah,
or rather second pick, I guess.
I think that's the biggest thing, right? You have first pick, you let the Io through, or the other team lets the Io through, they're willing to give it to you, and you don't take, and they're just like, okay, I guess we'll just take Io Gyro. It's never a bad opening.
They prepared for it. They had a sick combination of heroes as well. You had that Morphling plus Taiga on the Dark Willow, man. With that Aghanims, they were dishing out so much damage, but still, it comes down to the same thing. You gave Wisp. You gave Wisp Gyro.
And I think they underestimated just how strong Alliance's draft would scale into the late game. You look at Mickey's talents, even at 10-15, he took waveform range and morph duration instead of, agility and attack speed. It's part of why he was also under-farmed, because you're not hitting those easy timings to accelerate. And they just can't kill anything later in the game. Wisp with he got an Essence Ring, he had the Shackle Woods, he's got a Havoc Hammer.
He had 4k HP,
yeah. There was a couple of 31 armor.
There was a couple of fights in which they go on the Wisp, they use the Vessel. Dark Willow had a decent game, he had that Vessel really quickly. Yeah. And they still couldn't even take him down, yet alone the Gyrocopter afterwards.
You have nothing for the BKBs other than Root. You just can't deal damage through BKB, you can't stun through BKB, whereas on the side of Alliance, you had this RP that Limp just consistently played well on. He made a couple of mistakes, but
early. He made them early, yeah. You want in games like that, make them early, get them out of the way, late game, win.
At the same time, game was super close.
It was.
And they kept us on the edge of our seats because they played so well. Those team fights, I don't know, Liquid, they look top tier. Even when they're behind, they take these team fights so well.
I really like the Abyssal on Gyro as well. I think that was a game-winning item. You saw just because also you bounce on top of them, and now even if you get CC'd, you're still going to be auto-attacking thanks to the Ags. Just really cool concept, and I think we'll see more Abyssals on ranged heroes.
Who do we feel is deserving of the MVP for this first game of the series?
For me, it's Limp in the first 30 minutes. Obviously, late game, I don't think so, and I think Twitch might agree because he missed that first RP, which is going to get him the votes, and then he also dominated. So I think for the first 30 minutes, it was definitely him.
Let's find out. Drum roll, please. Who gets the MVP?
It might be Nico Baby, too.
It's Taiga.
Taiga.
All right,
that last play, when they were defending the throne, he uses Terrorize on everyone else but on the Gyro and solos him.
So the IO runs back, so he's not tethered. It was really smart play.
So good.
I mean, that's why it was a cool game to watch, right? Both teams were playing well.
Very well, yeah.
We were laughing about it backstage, but the cool thing was you'd see a hero get ganked, somebody dies, right? And the response is to go try and kill somebody, whereas we'll see other more passive teams oh, they'll take a loss, oh, we'll farm some creeps. But these teams were definitely brawling. There was really cool plays made by both sides. I really liked Alliance. They were 3-on-5. They killed the Mars up top, just reading that he was alone for a few seconds. Just really nice, aggressive plays from both teams. And I just feel like Liquid underestimated the raw power of this Alliance draft as it scaled. You have Beastmaster, you often had a Wolf, you had the Empower talent, plus the Empower on Mag, Wisp with the Gyro. You just, at a point, these teams bash into each other and Alliance just kills you, and you can't touch them.
Also that first Roche steal, I forgot about that. That was just a good play. You have the Hoggies jump in, from Limp.
Now, we did hear Taiga say this morning that Team Liquid needs to lose in order to get motivation. So we'll see if they got enough motivation to force out a third game to the series. They're going to find out if they can after the break.
Rick Gaming Esports, professional esports housemaker.
Multiple witnesses have reported mysterious shadow sightings all around the city. According to experts, the origin of these shadows is
We have a draft ready for you guys. Let's see how this one's going to go, because I do not think that I was going to get a second chance in this series. I think he was a little bit too good. I don't know. I'll take it back. Ignore it for now.
Liquid.
It's the same exact thing, right? Yeah.
Did Puppey kick Blitz and take over? What's happened?
To be fair, it's only what, like I don't know the math. It'd be like 1 out of 10, 1 out of 9.
What
the chances of getting an Essence ring aren't guaranteed.
But do you really think that it's only the Essence ring that made that Wisp work?
No, the Havoc Hammer and the Shackle boots certainly help too.
I mean, I think you do it. You definitely do it, 100%. Well, maybe not 100%, but I would.
If you change something, though, like, please, Ancient Apparition.
On
this is what
Liquid,
stops Wisp in its tracks. You cannot run the win condition of Liquid of Alliance disappears if you can stop their healing for 12 seconds. And I really hope that Liquid, if they're willing to play against Wisp Gyro again, go that route.
Well, there it is once more.
They need to switch something up, definitely. Alliance, I think you go for Gyro again.
Yep. I'm curious, Kyle, as a captain, when you do let, there's the AA, good call. It kind of answers the question.
Thank you.
Yeah,
that's
nice.
That's drafting 101 right there. All of a sudden, Alliance, your win condition has disappeared. I don't care if you have 3 Satanics and 1 billion health.
You got to hit the spell.
Yes. This is what I really enjoy seeing in drafting as well. If you're going to try and run it back, you know, have the trump card, right?
The only issue that I do see right now for Team Liquid is that they didn't snatch that Morphling. It will be taken away from them in the second ban phase.
Yeah, but you can replace the Morphling now because you get the Morphling to deal with the gyro, right? And it's effective. Morph does counter the hero, but it's not about like one-to-one counters anymore. As an example, yesterday, EG's Game 3, IG pick Anti-Mage. It's a great Anti-Mage game, but it's not going to win Dota because it's way more of a 5-on-5 meta, and heroes are a hell of a lot stronger at 20 minutes than they used to be, thanks to the neutral items, and really just the accelerated game state. Think about from a support perspective, you're not spending gold on Courier, you're not spending gold on wards. Like, you're going to have a lot more in your inventory, you're going to be more durable. What is it?
That was a request for you, Grant.
Tell a Volmar story.
Ooh. We've got time. We're in the second phase bans.
Yeah, keep talking. Let me think of one.
No pressure.
So one of the bad aspects of this Ancient Apparition is if you don't combo him well in the lane with a decent carry, it can fall short. You can just stomp that lane with a decent duo on offlane of Alliance.
I've got a story. It was, I believe it was 2017. One of the majors was going on, but, I had to work. I had to work like 60 hours a week, and I was like, that's okay. I asked my boss, can I come in at midnight to 8 a.m. instead? I'll get a lot of work done. There's no one there. And they said, sure. And you know what I did? I sat in the handicap stall in the bathroom for 4 hours watching Dota on my phone. And no one ever knew because no one was there.
For it.
It was great. Yeah, it was great.
Okay.
No one ever knew. Well, now they do, but...
Don't they have cameras, though? Wouldn't they have seen you go in the bathroom?
I don't have cameras in the bathroom,
Yeah, but they would have seen you go in.
Even if they don't, I mean, who's going to check them?
Who's going to... I was already working there for like 7 years. They're not going to...
It's just like, think about it if you're like the lone security guard, right? You see Grant go into the bathroom like hour 2, hour 3. Like, are you really going to go check on him? Like, who knows what the hell he's doing in there? I think watching a Dota stream would probably be pretty far down on the list. Things that happen in a Walmart bathroom after 4 a.m.
Yeah, pretty low on the list, I would say.
Yeah, Alliance, same deal. I think that they actually leave the Morphling in, so not afraid of it. And this is where part of why I agree that you don't need to open it with it as Liquid because you have different answers. You pick the Morph into the gyro, but now AA kind of removes this entire combo.
I think the Void ban is also really good.
Yeah, I agree.
The lane stage is stronger with the AA, and later on you have that setup.
The guaranteed AA blast, right? Because that's the thing. AA may counter this combo, but you do have to hit it.
And it's also, you need to stay alive, right? Now Alliance, your goal is just kill the Ancient Apparition. So in theory, Liquid really wants some kind of BKB piercing disable, because now that this is your support duo, it's not the Willow Morph timing, it's about getting initiation, landing the blast. Gyro can now go for a Manta BK build, more more utility, mobility-based build, because if you kill the AA, you're going to win the fight. So get rid of the AA, the Void. Think about maybe a Magnus now from Liquid as well, because it obviously doesn't do the damage, but you still remove healing through BKB, so you just need a BKB piercing disable.
So do you, we know it's the tree AA, do you want to run these as your 2 supports, or are you thinking you want it as a 3? The AA.
I think it's variable, but I think AA core is very solid in this type of game.
It's solid. I'm not sure if you want to give it to Boxy. We talked about his playstyle earlier and how strong he is on these heroes that are basically playmakers, but Ancient Apparition, he's mostly all about his ulti.
It's going to be Insania.
Also, Insania loves AA. He's your Rubik A, Phoenix.
And it is Taiga on the tree in generally, so...
Yes.
That would be your support duo. The only question then is, we've seen previous game, and to be honest, a lot of games with both of these 2 teams in them. They run very long, and the fights are long and drawn out. Do you need more sustain? Do you need more tankiness?
Usually that is the case, but you can see the Team Liquid already addressed it versus Alliance. They ban out Yaba. They don't want to deal with that. Alliance, that Wisp looked completely good enough in that last match.
It did.
Yeah.
If they won, you're not going to pick the Omni here, but it still is in the pool. You never know. They do Venge.
Yep, I like that. Swap is incredibly good against AA. You'll see the Ice Blast coming. It's all just about keeping the Gyro and Wisp out of the radius, and it's just more damage now because you have to play a different style of game. You can't rely upon survivability. Now it's about being able to brute force your way through the Liquid lineup.
And for me, I'm looking at it, it's like, the biggest thing about Venge is she's a really bad laner, right? Because you see AA on the other side, who is generally considered pretty bad in the 5 role as a laner, you're okay having a bad laner yourself.
And Venge also kills AA quite easily throughout the lane.
There it is. All right.
I love this.
I wonder if Alliance was actually thinking of picking it as well, and they kind of had to snatch it here.
You need wave clear now for Liquid, though. You've got a lot of kill potential. You've got a natural roaming duo in the AA Slardar, but you need to be able to kill creep waves, and you'd like something that does range damage, ranged physical damage, preferably spread. I could see them.
I know you're describing a Drow Ranger.
That sounds like it.
Yeah.
And they played it
For
with
both
Slardar
teams,
as well.
actually. For both
I
teams.
think for Liquid is a little bit better, though.
Okay.
You have
But do you
Slardar
have to
as
pick
well.
it to deny it? Like at this point?
Well, you already have a gyrocopter. That would mean you would place your gyrocopter mid. It's like,
It's not great.
It's doable, but not great. Yeah, I think it's much better to roll it with the Slardar, like they did yesterday, and they owned it.
You could also go for an illusion carry. PL or Naga is a potential. Now that I see an Omni Knight, I think Medusa also looks really good here.
What do you think about Razor for Liquid?
I love that.
That
I like
would be
that a lot.
pretty good. Versus the Omni Knight, you could put it in the lane, and then you could end up the draft with something, some hard carry for mid.
You don't have any BKB piercing disables on Alliance right now, so a Razor, you just go Yul's BKB. It allows that natural frontliner, provides vision, it secures some space for AA in the fight, and Razor, you don't really need too much damage when you have a Slardar. The damage amplification is kind of nuts.
Also, later on in the game, you can just latch on top of that gyro, follow him in the team fights.
I've got a question about the last game. How do we feel about the Beastmaster? I know they won the game, but like, do you think it's okay to replace that hero here with the IO gyro? Do you think he was like a big part of it? Because like, it was like kind of their vision hero, and he could sit in the lane. Omni Knight's a lot different.
I don't know. I felt like he certainly, like 3-3 definitely had a quiet game. I feel like his impact is hidden because he is providing aura.
All that,
and he had a wolf creep for a portion of that game as well. You replace his damage output, or his amp now with the Venge. The Avenge aura, you have the minus armor to boot. So I think you're fine in that case, and Omni just seems like it'd be more effective at the role 3-3 was forced to play in that game.
If the game goes like that first match, I think Omni Knight is better suited for their playstyle. However, if they don't get that Magnus on mid again, they will need someone to start these fights off, because it was mostly Limp doing the majority of the work in that first game. He was the one setting up the reload ganks all the time. Morphling, all right.
I'm worried a little bit for Liquid just because I think their lanes could be a bit weak and their draft starts really slow. And the Omni is somewhat, it's counterintuitive. You think, oh, but you're picking it into an AA. You do that because of the GA. So you can counter the Ice Blast with physical, complete physical immunity, which worries me because, you know, you have this great synergy now. Morph can take over the gyro, start flacking. Slardar is wreaking havoc, but a GA just kind of completely counteracts that. And then you sort of run out of gas. Alliance has a Wisp.
And it's not like you picked some Razor versus the Omni Knight. That Omni Knight should have a decent lane now. After a couple of minutes, when Morphling gets 3 raid bans, of course he can threaten, even kill the Omni Knight. But before that happens, 3-3 should have a decent. He'll get levels. He'll get what he needs.
That's what Omni needs, right? Sure, every hero wants items, but Omni, just give me those levels.
I love the Storm ban as well from Alliance. I think Liquid looked the strongest when you give Koikwa his Storm, his playmaking heroes, these that can just jump from one lane to another.
I'm really curious to see what hero they're going to get for Limp. I think you want something durable here. I could see a Viper, a TA.
It depends what Liquid picks up, right? They have overall last pick, so it depends what Liquid goes for. They
go with the Razor.
Razor.
All right. Actually, all right. They can play it mid as well.
Yeah.
But Alliance, they still have the last pick, and
I really like the Razor. It makes sense to go the Morph first because that would be a likely ban out from Alliance. And now you've got your lane secured. That's key. And you also have the versatility. If it's a good matchup for Morph mid, Mika can just play it there.
What do you do, Lizard?
OD.
I like OD.
The only problem is Razor could still go mid, but later on it gives you that extra oomph that you need versus the Morphling. It could be pretty solid.
I was thinking it's either OD and you get that save, or what about just the straight up Razor counter with the Quap that we see so often?
I actually really like the Quap. I really like the Quap. I think you want a playmaker for Limp as well. If you pick something slow, all of a sudden it's like, what's your playmaker? Liquid, if they win the laning phase, it's suddenly a completely free Morph game.
Alina it is.
All right. This fits their style a little bit better. At the same time, though, there is the Slardar. We've seen this matchup yesterday or the day before in which Slardar just gets on top of her and blows her up later.
You're legitimately just dead.
Flags, like 3 hits, and Lina just goes down. Limp has to snowball here, but I like that it gives them the option to make moves. I didn't want him to have to play a passive game after watching how dominant he was moving around the map in game 1.
Well, we're going to have an active game on our hands with game 2 of the series. Let's head over to OD Pixel and Sinrin.
Game 2 now of Alliance versus Liquid, and Sin, they've let them have it again. That IO does get through for Alliance. Do Liquid have the answers this time round? They didn't have it in Game 1.
Oh, this time they did pick a first phase Ancient Apparition to, okay, help.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lizard.
Thank you, Lizard.
You've
Thank
had
you
it in
so
your
much.
pub, Sind, and now you've had it in real life. A good bit of the old Lizard and his harmonica.
I was not expecting that. Okay. Yeah, so now that we've been played in by the band and an extra little band, one-man band here, we're very ready for the game. Yeah, so the first phase, Ancient Apparition, right? They grabbed it this time, so they have this anti-healing hero. And I want to quickly talk about something else after 33 has died in this top lane.
All right, okay. Is happy with that?
So very nice, first blood going to the way of the Morphling, because it might look weird with this Omni Knight pick. You're picking Omni into the AA, you're like, wait, what? You know, the healing reduction, you can't use Purification anyway. But I think the reason Alliance grabbed this Omni Knight when they did is that earlier this tournament, Liquid ran this strategy with Slardar Drow, and that must have made an impression on Alliance, and they saw this this pickup of the Slardar, and they were like, okay, they picked Slardar into our Gyro lane. It's not a traditional, like, specific counter or anything. So we think they want Drow. We're going to get a hero that can solve that physical problem through Guardian Angel. And in turn, that made Liquid go for the Morphling instead. So they get a flexible carry that has that magical component, which I think is a really good choice here. Just an interesting detail for this this Omni Knight pick.
Oh, 33.
He is in trouble, man. He is getting mauled.
Yeah, he's got regen. He's going to have to pop that cell very early on before he's even able to attend to the lane. But yeah, it's definitely going to be very interesting to see if they could do the IO, because this is, as you say, you know, it's all on this AA. Ice Blast, they've got to be perfect, because you thought, you know, last game the sustain of the IO was crazy. Now you've got to deal with the sustain and save of the IO and the Omni. These heroes, this combination, we've seen it before this tournament, and it's just looked broken.
And the Omni has some added benefits in being able to remove Corrosive Haze, giving that, obviously, the status resistance is amazing against a hero like Slardar as well, and against Treant. So definitely a lot of good stuff. Interesting here that, so what Liquid are going to do is they give their Morphling this little head start, and then they're going to leave him one-on-one against Omni Knight. That's a very playable matchup for the Morph when he has a little head start. And they're going to go for this aggressive tri-lane. This Liquid lane is stupidly strong when they hit level 2. Until then, not the biggest of threat for this Alliance lane, but yeah, the 2 is definitely an issue. And Alliance's lane is, it doesn't match up, I think. You're going to have to be really careful, play it defensive, try to make some maybe cute baits with IO heals or whatnot. Because, yeah, sure, you do have 3 ranged heroes with that Venge Aura, but are your stats actually enough? Well, okay.
I mean, they're doing
looks
quite
pretty
a bit
good
of
right
damage.
now.
Yeah, Boxy.
He kind of just took that missile to the face close to the heroes. And that was honestly a bit surprising. Maybe he thought the missile was on someone else, I don't know. They kind of just lost 2 salves there for nothing. That was very surprising. Surely, though, it's at level 1. So Alliance have that ability to do this for now. The turnaround potential for Liquid really comes in at level 2.
Okay, because when Alliance do try and go for that sort of play, you just run at them and get on top of one of the squishy supports.
You pop Leech Seed, you cast Nature's Grasp, and the Slardar fights back. And you have the AA catching Cold Feet. It's going to be difficult for them to deal with, I think. Well, Alliance got the first level 2 heroes in the lane. Obviously, IO Gyro had a head start from being 2v1 to begin with. And Fatsa is getting an uncontested pull here as Liquid try to grab their own, don't really succeed. And every time there's this kind of safe lane tri-lane versus aggressive tri-lane, the safe lane team will be looking to pull the small camp and at the same time not let the other team pull that hard camp. Looks like Insania might be getting it off this time. No, he pulled it too. It also got interrupted here. Oh, there's the level 2s.
Here we go. As soon as you say it, they've got that combination ready to go. They're trying to chase now Nico Baby, get on top of them. They find the crush. A few more hits with the bash will prime it up. And Nico Baby's been separated, pops the Fairy Fire. But he's now away from the rest of his supports. There's no backup for him. And Liquid, they make the play happen.
They're off to a really, really good start. This Omni Knight top lane is so far behind the Morphling. Complete free farm for Mickey, and on the other side, the Gyro is getting heavily contested. So already a 1k gold lead this early on. The Razor is holding his own against Lina. It's an unfavored matchup, but Koikva is pretty much breaking even. Oh, bottom lane again.
See? Foxy can get in, tries the crush, won't be in range. So now Alliance themselves can look to start turning onto them. Tiger, he's got the living armor. Another magic missile thrown out by Fada as they allow NicoBaby and Hanskin to get on top. But again, Boxy runs straight back in at them, pushes them away. And you're just seeing every time that they try and move in, if Boxy's up, he's ready to just make sure that Alliance cannot kill off his supports. Mid lane, Light Strike Array off the mark. Koikfa will be forced back and Limp. No more mana in the tank to throw out.
I found a DD. If that's a regen, Koikfa is going to be very sad. He's still sad, probably. DD is another great rune, obviously, but he's going to have to do the long walk back to base, whereas Limp is sending out a Salve and a Mango. So he will be able to stay, and this is when you really start ramping up that advantage. You get a full free wave, you're level 5 against level 4, you're going to hit 6 way before the Razor, and that's when the kills can come in. Oh, bottom.
NicoBaby's quite aggressive here once more. Does get tethered across. Hanskin with the heals. Cold Feet will not proc. NicoBaby gets out of there. A turn Wave of Terror now starts to chase back on the Liquid. Focus on a Tiger with a Rocket Barrage. Boxy comes in. Again, just another crush, sending a message, stopping Alliance from being able to focus down and get kills.
Yeah, interesting choice from Boxy in the lane to go for the sprint on level 2 instead of the bash. I feel like a lot of these engages, he could have got a key bash that could have maybe set them up, but favoring the mobility, just being able to get away from these 3 ranged heroes, obviously also very valuable. But this is, I thought Liquid were actually going to do better right now in this lane, and things can quickly swing around on their head when Venge starts getting some levels, and Gyro gets 2 in the Rocket Barrage now. That's a big damage upgrade. Was kind of expecting Fata to get a point in Vengeance Aura now instead of 2 in Stun, but really favoring that single target burst over the triple ranged hero getting attack range as well as stats, which is amazing for the IO to get the strength, but oh, he wants the stun, so he'll get the stun.
And at this point of the game, as we're seeing, top lane.
Oh, Fata's in trouble as well.
Oh, they lose 33. He's going to go for the quick trip back to base as he dies there to the neutrals. We'll see. Down bottom. They don't get anything again. Liquid able to step back. They do not have enough lockdown on Alliance to get kills. And it was actually dying to the Dire Creep. So yeah, just underneath the tower, 33 decides to reset, get back to the lane. But this top of the map, is there nothing that Alliance can do to sort of slow down Mickey's farm? Because he really is having the time of his life, as you say. Total solo XP, solo farm. This Morphling, he's going to be massive this game.
The best thing they can hope for is a rotation from Lina, I think. But Limp is spending all of his mana winning his lane against Koikfa, so he doesn't have the potential to rotate up there. Morph is going to go in on the Omni. Bit of a trade-off. So, yeah, with the lanes being set like this, now it's too late. Like, you can't rotate up support to help. Like, you're still not going to win this lane. If you send Io or Venge, Liquid can either choose to match or beat your bottom lane, so...
And they go.
There's the damage.
Yeah, Boxy level 3, so he does now have the bash skilled. I mean, Liquid, these side lanes working heavily in the favor, and the mid lane as well. Koikfa, he dives in aggressive with the ult. There's no help for Limp. As Liquid, they really are all 3 of these lanes going fantastically for Liquid.
Now they lost all 3 lanes. That was the lane that they were winning, and, well, it's a big loss now. Koikfa getting the solo kill here is a huge GP. Swing, he's on 2,400 net worth, and Lina on the 1,700. And this is kind of reminding me of that game yesterday of EG versus IG, where EG had these like super good lane matchups and just ended up completely destroying. This time around, I don't think they have theoretical awesome lane matchup. They just outplayed him there, right? But their bottom lane, I would definitely say they're in a good spot, in the top lane clearly as well. Taiga will TP out to the tower. So he's ready to connect with his teaming and just use a salve now and be combat ready. We'll do just that. I've seen better Nature's Graphs in my lifetime.
It doesn't quite catch him off this time, but still this bottom lane has been secured in a way that Boxy can continue to farm that much better than NicoBaby's Gyro. There's just sort of no point in this matchup where Alliance's heroes are strong enough to go and fight aggressively into the 3 that Liquid have here. Another grass slowing them down. Boxy tries to get in. Won't quite get close enough and focus his attention back towards the creeps. It's just very, very hard for Alliance to make plays.
I thought he would at least get 1 point, but he's going 2-0-2, just prioritizing the single target protection against this tri-lane. It's fair enough. It's slightly, in a way, it's a more aggressive way of playing, and in a way, it's not. Because now you can extend further, but at the same time, you're bit lower on that damage.
Well, here's the attempt again, just a bit of harassment. Boxy's turning towards Fada, does not want to go for the tethered target. Tries to go for the support, the crush control in place onto Hansken, but the movement speed will allow him to break away from the cold feet proc. Not quite getting the kills this time, Liquid. As Alliance with some nice maneuvers keep themselves safe mid lane. 33 is trying to run this down, but Koifa's got the static link. 33 is not going to have the damage to get this kill, and with the TP over from Mickey, 33 is definitely going to go down here. They get the nukes out, and 33, a dive way too aggressive. As I don't know what the plan was there, Sind.
If he gets another purification on Koifa, there's a kill, but yeah. He did.
No, it's always going to be hard against the movement speed of that Razor. I guess just felt overconfident with the phase boost that 33 had just picked up. Continue makes that middle lane even better for Koifa, and this farm, you're seeing it. This Morph is just, he's not seen a single enemy hero this game, really. I mean, 33 tried to attend the lane, and for the most part, had to skip the waves. Mickey's level 9 at 9 minutes in, having some of the quickest farm we've seen on a Morph. And Alliance, they're not really making anything happen for themselves anywhere else because of this. They'll now move NicoBaby up to the top lane to start farming.
I'm actually surprised Mickey didn't go for this top outpost. I think he could have got it. He is so strong right now, he's basically invincible. The only way he dies is to Alina combo if he's morphed down into Agi. So he could have at least given it a try to get it, but in the end it will be a 1-for-1 trade-off instead. So a little bit for Alliance that they at least claim here that they could have even not gained.
Koifa, maybe thinking about diving behind the tower here. They've got the 4 of them. They know that they're very strong at the moment, Liquid, that they get in onto the 33 now. The TPs will come out. Tiger into the trees, gets himself away from the tower. Limps come in, but Fada's already fallen. Koifa gets the first kill, and they're even poking and potentially more. Boxy starts to cut through the trees. A little careful, though, with Limp around and that Arcane Rune. He's got a lot of control and damage to hit out, as Liquid will back off. Happy with just the 1 kill. Still there's space for Mickey, continues. NicoBaby will at least be able to have a bit of breathing room up on this top lane compared to against the tri-lane of Liquid down on the bottom half of the map. And we'll see if Liquid want to mirror these movements, want to try and make sure that they continue to be in position to pressure the Gyro's farm. As 33 is hunting. It's going to be another attempt from Liquid for sure to find him. They scan him out. They know that there is action still behind this tower. 33's actually moved into a position where they're unlikely to sweep across and find him. Stays hidden. Won't be able to do too much on his own to help keep this tier 1 tower alive. So you can just sort of watch from the side. He will now show himself. Now he knows that some of them are backed away. And with Fada back at his side. And still this, Mickey 6,000 net worth. The Morphling. It's just, it's going to be terrifying what Mickey's going to be able to bring to these early moves. When he gets his first item done, it's going to be so hard for Alliance to deal with him.
Gonna start bullying away these. He almost is the same level of the 2 heroes he's laning against combined currently. Level 11 against 6 and 6. But now Relocate is up. So at this point for Alliance, the challenge is you need to find some sort of opening. This time you don't have the most obvious reload setup compared to last game. You have a Venge stun and you have a Lina stun to connect on. And you got to start playing the map like this and taking advantage of it. Reload whenever it's off cooldown, get a kill, and back to farming with Io Gyro. If both teams are just farming, I don't think they solve this morph anymore. The game is just way too good for him at this point in time. He's almost got Diffusal Blade, minute 13, with Morbid Mask, 2 Wraith Bands, Treads, Magic Wand, a dog, a cat.
This is not the build that we see every game from a Morph at all. I mean, is he just going for the Diffuser because he knows how strong he's going to be this early?
I think it's a way for him to solve the defensive capability of the Omni Knight, just through mana burn, make them unable to fight. There's the exact Relocate play coming in. They got Boxy and a Venge stun. He's pretty fast though, he will die eventually.
Yeah, they've got the missile coming in his way.
I got his courage too.
There's no backup for Boxy, so there's the moves you're talking about, Alliance. They've got to look for these opportunities and take advantage of them every single time.
The good news for them is, I guess, that it's only Morphling that is having a truly spectacular game. The other guys are just having good games. So if you can somehow itemize and solve this Morphling problem, then perhaps. I think Spirit Vessel will not be a solution. He will go Manta next after this Diffusal. So maybe some heavy single target damage. Gyro isn't exactly great at that though, except if the hero is isolated in the early game with the Rocket Barrage later on. That's not really something you can rely on. So maybe it has to come from Lim. Maybe an Aghanims build. Axe Refresher. Would that help?
It might need to be something crazy like that to take him out.
Yeah.
As they are going to go for the smoke move, Liquid. Alliance, they do have the mech done on the IOs. They've got a good amount of burst he'll save if he's around to help out.
Oh, they're strong in teamfights right now, for sure. If they don't get hit by Ice Blast, I would favor them even going into a fight. So if Liquid bring it to them now, this is playable. They have relocated 5 seconds.
Set up, they're looking to blow up Boxy. They're on top of them. GA's out. Boxy will fall. They do lose Limp for it. Ice Blast and the full focus of Mickey onto the Lina. Mickey's going to look to try and set up for more. Fada swaps himself over deeper. Liquid will chase. And Fada will fall as well. Mickey getting involved and starting to use that power that he's built up for the opening 15 minutes of this game and take it directly into the faces of Alliance.
Yeah, Alliance were the first to make the move, but they had 3-second cooldown and relocate. So they already ended up losing Lina before the IO Gyro could connect. I really think the idea of taking this fight was really good. If they could have somehow waited just a few more seconds, that could have gone very differently. But yeah, Morphling arrives. Very quick cleanup on the first hero. And he found the right target. Getting Lina out of the fight is the way to go. Oh no.
Nico, baby.
Oh,
he
no.
needs assistance. Their art team is coming in, and in fact, they don't want to dive on any further. Hanskin is able to get in and
You hate
tethers.
to see it, don't you? You hate to see it.
And
Wait, did he get it? Wait, where is it? Did he pass it on? He passed it on, yeah. So Gyro just barely flat cannoned a creep down, and it dropped Philosopher's Stone next to the Morphling. So that's an extra neutral item going the way of Team Liquid. They got a Philosopher's Stone for free. So they might even be able to grab 2 of them. They're going to get 1 on Insania. He's now at position 5 with a Philosopher's Stone and another Shawl. That feels pretty good.
Dude, I mean, if they find one themselves, yeah, he's going to be rolling in the money.
Oh, stack him. Yeah, then he has 2 damage against creeps.
That is true. I
want to see it.
That sounds pretty terrible.
I really want to see it.
I mean, is it worth it to have double Philosopher's Stone if you're doing 2 damage? You can't hit a creep. How are you going to get any CS? 4K lead for Liquid there, starting to find the rest of those items. Aquila's Vampire Fangs for Mickey, so...
Oh, that's a great item and more.
Yeah, with a good mix of spell damage and right-click, he's going to make the most out of that lifesteal.
Aquila and Gyro is great too, of course. So getting that extra armor aura, getting some good stats, mana regen, all that stuff is very, very nice for the hero. So shouldn't be too unhappy with that on the side of Alliance. I wonder what their move is on the map right now, because you look at their lineup, their team fight can be really good right now if they get the jump. And you would imagine they really want to open up the map by getting the top tower or maybe even mid tower somehow. It just seems like they're a little bit struggling in the way of playmaking in order to set that up. Lina did not go Yules. He went for the lens first, so all you have really is a swap. But we'll find Vambrace. Yeah, 2 nulls. Oh. That's convenient. Okay.
A little wishful on the range of the overgrowth there.
They killed that tower real good. Yeah. It's dead.
No hero contact, unfortunately, from Liquid off that play. And the game, you know, the pace is slowing down. It is giving Nico Baby the time to really find his farm, Maelstrom into the Aghanims. Once he has those 2, it's going to speed up. He's going to start closing the gap compared to Mickey's Morph. I mean, I guess the question is, do you feel that Liquid need to be doing a little bit more with their lead right now, or is it sort of okay for them as well that it's slowing down?
Well, you did buy Diffusal and Morph, right? So you kind of bought a fighting item, and you used it to take 1 fight, and now you're just farming. So I don't know if that was really value enough. Good Ice Blast, stun.
Set up, Nico Baby focus, but the relocate's there to take him out. We'll be able to leave him in the base, unless they want to try and bring him in as the Ice Blast wears off and try and turn this. He's going to start healing up. He's just going to go for the TP to the tower. He wants to start returning to the fight from the tier 1. Hanskin tries to tether across. He gets crushed. They'll look to burst him, but the mech's popped. Hanskin, he's going to be fine for now. Liquid cannot kill even the IO there on the front. He's just too tanky, even at this stage of the game.
This will kind of be the metagame for this particular game until the end, probably. You're trying to Ice Blast the IO. If IO somehow gets, or IO's carry, if IO gets relocate out, especially later in the game, you're probably going to disengage. Because when they come back with full health and mana and you don't have Ice Blast, you're going to have a problem.
They do find Lim though. Mega's coming across. 33 is able to provide him the protection. And it's another move where Liquid, they're running into Alliance's heroes, but even at this point, they're struggling to get the kills.
They get the mid tower though. That's a bigger prize. So, all good in the hood for Liquid still in this game. Morph is progressing nicely. Razor has not really fallen off at all. He keeps farming. The Slardar in this game doesn't really need many items. I think he just needs to frontline for his team, get in and start the fight, get Corrosive Haze on someone, and ideally, if that someone can't get saved by Omni in the moment, Morph can just blow them up in like 5 hits. So you gotta be really careful as Alliance. You have some multiple ways of saving, of course, but sometimes the damage is just too quick to be able to react to it. All right, another tower. Very effective play from Mickey here. Mid tier 1 into bottom tier 2 in one fell swoop. That was very quick. And now he's gonna go and try to finish off the Manta style. And then we'll see what Liquid do. I'm actually going to smoke now. Just Liquid. Mickey has TP in 10 seconds, so he can connect to a move at the top tower, but it will, unfortunately, it looks like, have fallen by the time. Well, Fata's struggling.
They are going to try and come in here onto NicoBaby. Handsken is going to provide some safety. Does not have the ability to take him out, though. The relocate will not be there in time to help as Handsken's hold in place. These plays from the Razor, tripping up the IO.
Nicely done. Yeah, very value smoke. You kill the IO Gyro duo and you take map control. It's not just a kill. You have this hill now, and you can start kind of choking out Alliance's grasp on the map. If you have more sentries, you could possibly just flat out cover this entire high ground and not let them up. And they have to find another way into the fight.
Again, they find the jump. They're in onto 33. There's going to be the buyback from 33, in fact. He's TPing in, aggressively trying to see if they can maybe fight back onto Liquid, but Liquid, as soon as they see that buyback, they're out of there.
I think Fata could have gone for a swap there. He cast a stun on the Morph. It's just, if he's the only guy he can reach, I don't even know if they kill him, right? That's the problem. If he was in reach to get any other core swapped in between the towers, this could have evolved into something really interesting for them, but instead they just kind of waste away an Omni Knight buyback for nothing. And honestly, they look a little bit lost in this game, and I don't blame them. I just think from this laning stage, they've been at a really, really big disadvantage. And it's always a big limiting factor. Finally now, this item could change things. The Euls now comes out on Limp. You've just been so limited in your way of making your own successes on the map that you've relied on mistakes, and Liquid haven't made them. So now you can take some initiative. Benj is closing in on level 12 as well. It's a big level. Well, he's currently turning into toast. Very frozen toast, but, you know, it's a delicacy.
I mean, Liquid now 13-3, 7k lead. They've now got their 2 defensive items as well on the cores. Both Mickey with the Manta, Quakefoot with the BKB. It's going to be even easier to run down Alliance. And very hard for Alliance to push them back. NicoBaby still needs to find his core items. The Aghanims, he's getting close to it. It's about 700 gold off it, but even then, he's got to find that BKB on top of it, because we're seeing already the burst potential of Liquid. It's just a little too much. With that Ice Blast on them, there's not a whole lot that Handsken can do to save him. It's all about the relocates, but Liquid have been very good at making sure that he doesn't get away with it.
He got the Morph off. They tried so hard. This can get really nasty now.
Ice Blast. It's in onto Limp. Limp tried to turn, but there's Quakefoot coming in with the BKB. GA has popped, but Limp, the magic damage far too much as this Lina will fall. NicoBaby is taken out in time by Handsken. Fada's also being watched by Tiger. So Liquid again finding cores. It's still so hard for Alliance to fight them. Liquid just off the back of the lanes. They are too far ahead. And Alliance, they struggle to take fights head on at all. Liquid, they'll go into the pit, and with the Corrosive Haze, this will be an easy Roshtram for them. No opportunity for Alliance to come for a steal. This Aegis will be theirs.
And it's going to be a full heal for Mickey here as well. He had the Vampire Fangs. He's going to pass them on now to the Slardar, swapping in his own Morbid Mask. And now he's going to grab Aegis as well. looking very, very stable here for Liquid this game. They haven't really tripped up at all since they got that big advantage. Looking for, I think Alliance's best chance in the coming fight is Omni Knight needs to come up big with everything cast correctly. They need a good GA when the fight breaks out, and then this Force Staff has to pay off. Like if the gyro gets jumped and they try to Ice Blast, if you Force Staff out of that Ice Blast so it misses, there is some counterplay potential with turning the fight around with a level 2 Venge swap. And you kind of have to play for something like that, you know? Just look at the one possible win condition you have and then execute that. Lim.
Oh, the heals. Ice Blast is there, the swap. Fada will save him. Gets him out of the way. Big swap from Fada will cost him his life, but it keeps Limp alive.
Yeah, they didn't have Omni nearby, so Fata has to sacrifice himself. A Force Staff would have sufficed there as well. The exact play just happened, but they weren't ready. They're just not ready for these moves from Liquid. And they, I mean, look at the map, right? You have probably access to about a third of the map right now as Alliance, and that's not going to do. You have to make a move, and the move will be extremely difficult to make, but it has to be done.
And they're coming top, Liquid. They're looking to fight this. They're looking for Nico Baby, but Hanskin's prepared.
He got missiled. All right, whee!
I mean, I don't think they're going to move down. Or maybe they are, because Tiger and Boxy are close.
Oh, okay.
We're going to watch Hanskin. He's going to die and relocate. It's going to hit.
Bonk.
Does Boxy want to try and do something? I mean, him and Tiger, they're eyeing this up. The overgrowth.
Oh, Omni.
Into the hammer. The Tiger does get burst. And Alliance, they're now going to turn towards Boxy. Boxy, he's got Mickey nearby. Nico Baby burst low enough to pop. Mickey cleans up the kill, and Liquid, they're hunting for more. Limp in the trees. Light Strike holds back the Slardar. But Mickey, he's punching just too hard at the moment right now. Limp cannot withstand this amount of physical damage as Liquid, from the top lane to the bottom lane, they continue to just kill them all.
Omni had to heavily grace himself to break the overgrowth. It was really important there from Taiga to get it on both of them so that Omni can't just go and save his core. And then after that, the fight kind of just played itself there. Morphling just coming in, huge damage. Imagine if he had an E-Blade, he doesn't even, like, the Lina still, the amount of damage that's coming out just from Adaptive Strike itself. This does not look good for Alliance. Oh, and I don't really see it. There's an Aegis on the morph.
There's tier 3s falling. And they cannot push them back. The tier 3, it's gone. Liquid can back off, get the shrines, continue to play it safe. There's a 15k lead. This game looking incredibly grim for Alliance. As you can see with the way that the net worth's going, there's not even any sort of signs of it being knocked back in Alliance's favor. They just have been unable to make any sort of play. Boxy's going to also have a completed BKB. So the idea of killing any of these cores on Liquid seems impossible for Alliance right now. Just going to be held inside their base. I mean, the question comes, how hard is it going to be for Liquid to sort of step up and hit the racks, or is it's just going to be no difficulty at all for them with the lead that they have?
I personally think they could have done it already, but they have some serious PTSD of throwing games in the enemy high ground, so they're going to play it safe. And, you know, it's not a worse play not going, because I don't think there's any upcoming breaking point where things are going to drastically change. Boxy's going to find Fata bottom, and this should be a kill. Morph comes in.
I mean, they're stepping out, Alliance. They land the Light Strike, but he's already shifting into strength, so there's no follow-up. They have to retreat. Now, you can see, at least for the moment, Alliance still having the confidence to leave the base and try and chase up any kills, as they know that Liquid, they're going to be playing slightly, you know, sort of greedy and cocky, and will be shoving out lanes alone. And finding them picked off and split up it's going to be a lot easier than trying to deal with them when Liquid come pushing in as 5.
Unfortunately, one of the pushing heroes is a Treant that has Dagger, and that is a hero that their lineup can't really realistically catch. Really difficult mid lane. Yeah.
I mean, and here it is. They're just going to step up to the high ground, hit onto the racks. What can they do to stop this? This is a Morphling with an Aegis and a whole lot of farm. In he goes, takes the Heavenly Grace once more. Another stun. They're trying to bring him down once. They will do so. They had to use the Laguna, though. Is there any sort of burst to allow them to have a chance of doing it again? The swap back, he's deep, but he gets the melee racks, gets out of there. There's no further catch from Alliance. Liquid, they got what they came for.
Fata did have a secondary swap, but I think they just identified they can't kill him a second time. You used Laguna. he was already morphing into full strength. It's not happening. And while this maybe could have gone a bit better for for Liquid, at the same time, the Aegis was running out. This is when it would have expired, so you kind of got good value out of it. Got a melee Rex, you got the Shrine. You're in control. You can choose now to play for the next Aegis, or you can try to find a decisive team fight. Any team fight win for Liquid right now is probably game over. Oh, double damage. Boy, look at that. Morphling, one of the best heroes in the game to find this rune on, has ridiculous base damage from morphing all of it into agility. Currently hits for 550, almost. Not bad.
Oh, poor old father. TP on cooldown. He's not got anywhere really to go.
All right, let's see it. I want to see the one shot. Hit him. Oh, okay. Boring.
I mean, he's doing his job though, Father. He's taking the attention away from the mid lane. He's pushing out.
The classic 29-27 bounty rune. Don't see those a lot at this level of play.
I was going to say, it must have been totally ignored down there.
Yep.
I guess no one's really been out in that area.
Yeah, they haven't needed to go.
But look what we have on Alliance. They do have the repair kits in.
Yay!
Let's see if that is going to be enough to keep things going. But Boxy, he's going to start off the action, puts the BKB. He's looking to split Hanskin away from Nico Baby. Nico Baby tried for the TP out, but Mickey was in with the stun. They'll get the both of them. There's no escape from Liquid. You cannot come out on this map and expect to get home alive. Liquid will find you.
And this is super good timing too. They get the kills right after they have both outposts and all 4 bounty runes to claim at minute 30.
A 21k lead. I mean, this is, it looks very, very much impossible for Alliance to swing this one around. Where's that repair kit? Nobody's stepping up and using it. I guess they're scared of Boxy coming in with a cross. It's in it. He could drop it from his backpack. I mean, at the moment, Nico Baby's just holding the backpack. He needs to drop it and give it to his teammates, but the racks, they're just going to be gone. Another set of racks starting to be up. They're just going to call it. They're just going to call it. GG is called. This one's all Liquid, and it really was just all Liquid. Every single lane, it went their way. I bet people were ready to laugh at them letting the IO through a second time, but Liquid, they proved they had a brilliant answer. Their lane set up, that aggressive tri-lane, and the fact that Mickey, he just got away with the freest start he's ever had on a morph. An entire lane to himself with nobody contesting him for the entirety of that laning stage.
It was a clear strategic win. They put the perfect lanes. They all played super well. Obviously, yeah, you let that IO through in the first phase, but it's a very different scenario when it gets picked on that second plus third pick of the full draft. I believe in the first game, Alliance were first pick, right, when they grabbed the IO. It was the overall first pick of the draft, so yeah. A very different game. Awesome adaptation here from Liquid, choosing to get that first pick AA, or first phase rather. And even though we didn't really get to feel that much of the AAs, it wasn't even necessary, really, because of how well the lanes went. Yeah. But that's an added benefit of the hero. It's pretty good in tri-lanes. You know, you have a lot of damage, you have a potential stun, you force heroes out of position. And Liquid, I think the biggest play of the game was identifying they could put the lanes like this and win.
Yes.
And that the first 5 minutes were the 5 most important ones.
Well, they really were. Pretty much from that point onwards, no chance for Alliance in that game 2. The series, though, now stands with Liquid taking that very dominant game 2. It's 1-1. We're going to be going to that decisive game 3. Do not go anywhere. We'll see you very shortly for the game 3 of Liquid and Alliance.